Hi, my name is Caroline.
My name is Andrew.
Hey guys, my name is Laura,
Hey guys, my name is Paige.
and we are tour guides here at Liberty University.
And today we're going to be answering some of your questions about Liberty University.
Bye!
You're done.
I feel like the most common question we get is where we would recommend them living on campus their first year. And I think what I would recommend would be to live on main campus your first year, so either like the Hill or Commons. Really super fun because a lot of different events are happening right there. So fun to be around. I lived in Commons one of my first years, so Commons all the way.
For me, a question I usually get on tour is what my favorite thing about Liberty is. And so I would typically just say the community here at Liberty. I love just community groups that we get to be a part of on campus. And so those meet every single Wednesday night on residence halls. And so just really sweet, just being able to dive deeper into the Word of God together and getting just to grow with people on my hall. So build a lot of really sweet friendships there.
One question that I get asked a lot on tour is about the dress code, specifically for girls, like what can girls wear to class? So typically what I always answer with is just no shorts to class. A lot of people think we have to dress up like super fancy, and a lot of people do dress up a lot on the first day of school.
One question that I get asked all of the time is about curfew. We actually like to make a joke while on tour that it's actually at 7:30, but that's not true. It's at midnight, and then on the weekends it goes to 12:30. So
Woo,
30 extra minutes
30
of
minutes.
fun. Let's go. But common misconception, people think you either have to be in bed, lights out, tucked in, that type of thing. Don't worry, your RAs are not going to come in and tuck you into bed.
Read you a bedtime story.
I know.
They won't do that.
Yeah, but it's also not a jail, so you're able to sign out to go to different events such as Midnight Mayhem, 24-hour prayer chapel, and just different things like that.
Ooh.
I tell a really great joke at the Vine Center about, actually at the Liberty Arena, about how our projector can project flames onto the court and it gets pretty lit.
One that I think is definitely our robot. So if you didn't know, we have a robot literally built under the library. The library is actually built around that. And so it's the same type of system that Amazon uses to get your packages delivered. So pretty cool, but it's basically like, you can think of it like a vending machine, but for books.
Giving tours has changed my perspective as a student because I feel like a lot of times families come in to tour Liberty and they don't realize how massive it is, because typically private Christian universities are on the smaller side, and it's kind of given me that perspective where families will go and tour other Christian universities in the country and they don't realize that like we have the massive football team here, and I just kind of forget like that is not a very normal thing for a Christian private university to have those things. And so it's a good reminder just when we are presenting the school to kind of show that side of things, because it's really awesome.
It's definitely allowed me to have a greater appreciation for Liberty and just getting to learn about some of the history about Liberty. Even the fact that like Green Hall, that was like all donated to us for like $1. And so it's a $10.5 million building. And so it's just really cool just to see the Lord's provision just throughout that like building and us being able to have that.
One thing I love pointing out, just because it's a funny story that happened to me, but actually our Freedom Tower is equipped with 25 bells. So my first semester, I went up there, kind of forgot about that whole aspect, and those bells went off at the top of the hour, and I'm telling you guys, I thought the rapture was coming. I was like, why do these trumpets sound like bells? It was so confusing. So I love to point that out to our families that come on tour.
Don't go to the top of the tower.
Don't do it.
On the hour.
You'll lose brain cells.
Yeah.
Throughout Liberty, our Freedom Tower lies at like the very center of our campus. And so it's really cool that if you go 0.71 miles to the north end of campus and then 0.71 miles to south end of campus, then our Freedom Tower actually lies at the very center of that. And so we were founded in 1971, so it's just like a really cool fact that even I didn't know before I became a tour guide. And so just centers our whole campus just back on Christ, and that being our mission.
Something I like to point out is the bowling alley that is in the bottom of our Montview Student Union, which is super cool, an 8-lane bowling alley just to go have fun with your friends. So
When people come into college, obviously they really do want really great community. And one thing that I do think sets Liberty apart is the hall leadership aspect of everything. And so I know that at other colleges, when people come in as freshmen, they feel like they have to like rush into a sorority. I had a lot of friends that went to kind of bigger schools where Greek life was very prominent on the campus. But here at Liberty, like we don't really offer that. A lot of our community does happen on our residential halls, which is awesome. It's your RSs, your RAs, and your CGLs. It's their job to kind of create that community and provide events for students throughout the years.
Liberty and the people here are just so welcoming that, like, even as someone coming to campus that didn't know anybody here, it was really awesome just to come and just be like welcomed with open arms by even just all the other freshmen here, which was a really cool experience.
Yeah, I think typically people see these scary Instagram reels before they come on tours. And so they're like, what is the dress code? Like, what is all these things that the Liberty Way is talking about? I always just ensure people it's really not that bad. As far as things like dress code, like it's just no shorts really. But also, I think a big part of it is just, we're here not to just give glory to ourselves or represent ourselves, but we're trying to create champions for Christ. And I think that the Liberty Way is a big part of that. But it's definitely not as scary as what it sounds like sometimes on the internet.
It is essentially like a document that kind of outlines, I guess, our expectations as like students on campus. Also just kind of like outlines the university and like tells you a little bit more about it, which is awesome. Has some things in there like dress code, of course, and all of the good stuff. But yeah, just like kind of expectations. So. I feel like everybody's always scared about curfew. Typically when people hear curfew, they're like, oh, bedtime lights out, but it's not. We're not fun killers.
Also like convocation
Yeah.
requirements. Like people don't understand, I guess, that convocation, like everything shuts down for it. So it's gonna be specifically like part of your schedule as a student here if you live on campus.
Does everyone here on campus like have to be a Christian? And that is certainly not the case. I think we both know people here on campus who maybe came into Liberty not necessarily believing in Christ and then getting saved during their freshman, sophomore, junior year here on campus, which is really, really awesome. And it just goes to show you too, like here, even if you don't necessarily agree with the beliefs of the university, you are still going to be loved by your professors and your fellow students, which is just super awesome.
Yeah. I might actually cry.
Oh, okay.
Should I
Take
start?
it away.
I'll set the tone, guys. Yeah, so actually the reason why I decided to become a tour guide is because I actually came on a tour, the ones that we do every day here at Liberty. And I had this tour guide. His name is Chris. Shout out to Chris.
Shout out, Chris.
But yeah, that was just such a impressionable time in my life, and it really just impacted me. Just the people here that just really love and care about you and just have conversation with you. That was a big reason why I became a tour guide.
I've always loved and been so passionate about Liberty, and I love just like talking to people and connecting with people. I'm very extroverted, so a lot of people had kind of told me like, oh, you should be a tour guide, like you'd be like, that's kind of your vibe, I guess. And I toured a lot of different schools before touring Liberty, and when I came on the campus tour, it really made an impact on my life. And I just know that the campus tours, no matter where you tour for a college visit, it really does make a difference.
Honestly, my friend applied for the job, and so I really didn't know much about being a tour guide. I didn't know that you had to memorize a script, which is kind of crazy, kind of giving away our secrets here, but I got into the interview and met the bosses, and they were just so incredible, and then also learned more about the job through other people after I interviewed, and I was like, wait, this is actually so incredible.
Also, I had a friend that worked here, and he was like, oh my goodness, Laura, you should be a tour guide. And I was like, what, me? And so then kind of got me through the process, and just, again, yeah, with our bosses, talking to them. And I was like, oh my goodness, everyone here is incredible, and this really would be such an awesome job to be a part of.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video.
Make sure to subscribe
And drop a comment down below.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're from.
and definitely sign up to tour with us. You can come to any of our Tour LU tours, Experience LU, or our favorite, College for a Weekend. Yeah, so fun. Definitely come to
Yeah.
see FAW. Super fun experience. You can meet your future roommate there, maybe.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other questions, feel free to link them down below.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Our favorite drink, Coca-Cola.